Alright guys, we have an easy one today. We're going to take a look at how to deploy a React application that's using TypeScript with the Firebase console. So I've used Firebase in a couple of my other videos. They have a really good social media login system, and they have excellent hosting, they have cloud services. Firebase is just an awesome wrapper in front of Google Cloud, if I'm being honest. They streamline practically everything you need to get an application, both the front and back end, working flawlessly. That being said, another reason why the Firebase deploy is so efficient is because the Firebase CLI, or Firebase tools as it's known in NPM, are excellent and easy to use to deploy your application very quickly. We're going to keep this one relatively short, so let's get into it. Go ahead and open up your Firebase console and go ahead and create a new project. Name this project whatever you want, and I'm just going to disable Google Analytics for now because I don't really need them, and then create the project. This shouldn't take too long to complete, but if it does, just stand by and be ready for the next step. So once you've completed that step, let's go ahead and go to your computer, go to a folder, and open up a terminal wherever you want to create your project. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run an npm install -g, and I'm going to install the firebase-tools. This will install the Firebase CLI for you and allow you to use all of the Firebase commands. If you're using PowerShell like I am, just make sure that you are running as an administrator or you have the proper permissions enabled. Go ahead and clear the console and then run create React app, name your project, and make sure to do a -- template equals TypeScript at the end to make sure that TypeScript is enabled in your React project. Once you do that, go ahead and open up your IDE, I'm using Visual Studio Code, inside of your folder. Now, if I open the source folder here, you'll see a basic TypeScript React project. I'm just going to go ahead and change one line of text so that when I deploy it, you know it's deploying my project and not a default React project. You don't have to use a Create React App project for this. If you already have one created, ready to go, and you just want to learn how to deploy it, this is where you're going to start. So let's open up the console, and the very first thing you're going to do is log in with Firebase. So I should already be logged in from before when I was testing it, and you can see that I am. So I'm going to run a Firebase logout to show you what to do. Go ahead and run Firebase login, and then it's going to ask you if it's okay to open the CLI. You're going to go ahead and say yes, and then log in like you normally would with any Google application. Once you do, you'll see that the Firebase CLI login is successful, and then you can go back to your console. Next, you're going to run a Firebase init. You're going to want to scroll down to the configure a files for hosting and optionally set up GitHub action deploys. You're going to want to hit space to select it in Git Bash and then hit enter. Next, it's going to ask you if you want to use an existing project or create a new one. We're going to use an existing project, and it's going to be the one that we just created in the beginning of this video. For the public directory, we're going to want to use what's called the build folder. The React build scripts automatically generate your files into a build folder, so that's the folder we're going to want to use. Next, we're going to leave this configure as a single page app, defaulting to yes. And then the last question, you can just put no for now because that's outside of the scope of this video. Once you do that, you should see some files generated for you, a .firebase.rc and a firebase.json. These help Firebase understand how your project is configured. Again, we're not going to get into it because that's outside of the scope of this project. All we're interested in here is the deploy. So go ahead in your console and run Firebase deploy. And then you should see everything deployed to Firebase for you. Because we used Firebase init and we followed all the steps, the project should be configured this way automatically, so everything should work. Go ahead and copy that URL that's generated inside of the console, and what you're going to do is you're going to put that into the URL bar into whatever browser you're using. So I'm going to go to Firefox, paste this into the address bar, and then see what happens. So you can see that a default React project didn't come up, but rather this Firebase hosting sample project came up. And that's because we haven't actually built our project. What happened is that Firebase gave us a default index HTML, not one that we built with our React project. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our console, and then we're going to end up running an npm run build. Now that we've built it, we're going to run Firebase deploy one more time. And then we're going to go back to our browser and hit refresh. And you can see here that my super awesome React project has been deployed. Now let's take one extra step and streamline this process a little bit quicker. What we can do is we can go to our package.json file and we can go to the build step of our script section, and you can see that it is running the react-scripts build command. So what we could do, since I'm using git bash, I'm going to add 2 ampersands after and then type in firebase deploy so that anytime I run npm run build, it automatically deploys it for me after. You don't have to do this, but if you want to do some fast testing, I recommend doing it this way. So let's go ahead and run our npm run build again, and then it should not only build our React project, but then deploy it as well. And just like that, it's built our project and deployed it to Firebase for us. So like I said, guys, this was going to be a fast one. That's all you need to do to get your React project working inside of Firebase. This works both with and without TypeScript. It's really, really easy. If you like what you saw, please hit the like button, subscribe, and if you're feeling really generous, maybe buy me a coffee so I can help bring you more videos. Thanks for tuning in, guys.